I am so excited. We just had a consult in Delectable Tiny Gardens, the meeting place for those looking for food and herb resiliency in their lives. And this is somebody that I am working with to develop their permaculture design in their tiny backyard so that they can have their own food security. And hey, with permission, I am going to share this consult, and you can take advantage of this kind of help in your life and your designs by joining us for a free 7-day trial at Delectable Tiny Gardens. I do this kind of a chat twice a week on Fridays and Sundays, so come and join us and see what we've got. Okay, so Anna Marie, we have got um, a short consult going on right now. We're kind of in the middle of it, right?
Right,
Okay, because right now we are developing your permaculture garden
right,
or your garden for ability so that you have a garden going forward that brings you a higher level of food security and resiliency in your life, correct?
correct.
Okay, so what we've got done is we just mowed the area that we're going to be working with, okay? And I kind of tossed those barrels aside. But
Okay,
the next thing that we got a helper. So the next thing that we're going to do then is lay down cardboard, right?
right,
And put the barrels back that where we had placed them before.
right. That's to kill the grass in the area.
Right, so we're going to kill that grass so that you should never have to mow that area again if we do it right.
That's good.
Okay, so the idea there is to decrease that mowing between the fenced garden and those barrels.
Yes,
Okay, and so the next thing to do out there is to put that cardboard down on top of that where we mowed, put the barrels back in place, and get the worm towers in those barrels before I actually fill it with soil.
yes,
Okay. Now we were talking about the fencing. Okay.
yes.
And what I've been recommending out there, because it's actually the easiest fence to put up, is either cattle panels or hog panels. Okay. At and that's a firm panel that you can just put up against your fence post and tie in.
Right.
Okay. If you're using a um, standard field fence, that has to be stretched, and that takes a little bit different fencing method than what I put out there for you.
Okay,
Okay.
so
To to
then the cattle panels will be in sections and we just put them up, where
Right.
regular fencing has to be unrolled.
The regular field fence would have to be unrolled, put up against the post, and stretched.
Okay,
Okay. And it's usually most of the time, and it depends on how long of a stretch you've got, and you really don't have a very long stretch. But you really need to put in concrete set wood posts on your corners
ah, okay,
to stretch field fence. Okay. And then you put it on what's called a come along,
yeah,
and you ratchet that as tight as you can ratchet it without breaking the fence.
right,
And that puts a lot of stress on your corners. Okay. So most of your field, long stretch field fencing is braced braced corners set in concrete.
And
And we
that's
did not.
something I don't want with the
Right, you
size of
do not
garden
want
of
that.
I have.
Right. Um, what I would look at, if we can find it, is the difference in price between a cattle panel and a hog panel. Or not a cattle panel, hog panel. Cattle panel and a combo panel.
Okay,
Because a cattle panel is on a grid of 6 inches by 8 inches.
okay,
And your rabbits can come through that. All right.
right,
And the young groundhogs can come through that. Maybe the adult ones too, but the young ones definitely can come through that. Okay. A combo panel, the bottom third of that combo panel is the wires are set twice at half that distance.
okay.
So the wires on the bottom are much closer together to keep the piglets
So it would
from
be
going through
better
the
to
fence.
keep out the groundhogs and the rabbits.
Right. Okay. And the other thing to do for that is to plant things next to that fence. Put something in next to that fence, a narrow bed next to that fence,
Uh-huh.
and plant something in that narrow bed that they don't like.
Okay,
All right. So your perennial onions could go in that narrow bed. Or lavender, yeah, some of your very aromatic herbs that they're not going to like. And that will help keep them from coming through that fence.
okay,
Okay. So, and that's up to you whether you want to do that or not. That would be one way of telling them to go someplace else to eat because they're not going to like going through that.
right.
Um, the other thing was that we came across if you treat areas with ammonia,
Yeah, that keeps the groundhogs away. I don't know about the rabbits, but it does. The groundhogs do not like the ammonia.
so that might be a possibility, but that's something that you're going to have to treat repeatedly if you're going to do if that's the route that you're going to go.
Right.
So, all right. So what we're going to do is we've got the 4 black barrels out there that we're going to set up with the worm towers in it. Okay, and then put the fence in.
Yes.
Okay. Now we had also talked about cutting 55-gallon drums in half
Yes.
and using those for planters as well.
And they would be a good size that I could grow my roses that I just bought. One barrel cut in half would handle the two roses.
Right. Plus, um, well, yeah, that one barrel would probably handle both roses. Or you could put one rose in each one plus some other
Herbs and
herbs and
ground
stuff.
covers and mint.
Yeah, that would be a good place to put mint. A really good place. I kind of like that idea. So, okay. So the next step out there is to get to get your 4 barrels in place and filled and planted, and to um, check on the fencing options and make a final determination on the fencing for you.
Right.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to talk about right now?
I we've already got the pipe for the worm bed.
There's enough, we got enough pipe to do the 4 barrels that you've got out there.
Right.
Um, plus to either put worm towers in the raised bed garden that we're going to fence or into two sections of 55-gallon drum. Each piece that we purchased is 5 feet long.
Right. I understand that.
So
Um, I was just thinking that we probably need to put some of the worm beds, the worm towers in the original raised bed because this is its third year.
except that we've actually kept fertility and um, composting going in the inside of that bed.
Yes.
Okay, because part of the way that that bed was filled was with leaves and grass clippings, and then we finished filling it this year with uh, the compost and soil mix that you purchased.
Right.
Okay, so yes, going forward, you need a couple, two or three worm towers in there too, but not this year.
Okay.
Okay, so that can wait until the plants are taken out and cleaned up for the fall,
Uh,
or when we switch things around for the second planting in those beds.
okay. Then
Okay,
it would make sense to get the worm towers put in the barrels for the roses
yeah,
before we start filling everything up with plants and
yeah,
soil.
yeah. Going forward, anything that you're going to put a worm tower in, put it in before you put the soil mix in.
Okay.
Okay, and uh, it's going to be important to bring to the garden additional organic matter going forward beyond the kitchen scraps that you're going to put in the worm tower.
Right.
So things like what you need for your fertility is a balance between the nitrogen and carbon. And the way I do that is to mix grass clippings and leaves.
Yeah.
So mixing grass clippings and leaves is one way to do it, or mulching with a grassy hay
Okay.
will also do it.
It's
But
a good
you
thing I
got to
have
watch.
a large abandoned lot next door that they mow on a regular basis.
Yep, yep. Unfortunately, that takes work and time to collect both the leaves and the grass clippings.
Right.
So, what we're trying to put together for you is a garden for ability so that um, going forward, it's a low maintenance garden for you and that you can do those more labor intensive tasks when you feel like doing them.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you want to share what you see going forward for what you need for your ability?
Well, just as a little bit of background, I have fibromyalgia and neuropathy. And with the fibromyalgia, I have very low energy reserves. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for a garden that I can go out, plant, take care of throughout the season that's not going to drain or um, set off the pain associated with fibromyalgia.
Right. So we're trying to get your raised beds up to, where you're not bending over
Yeah, I would prefer to sit at the raised bed and be able to reach
all the way across.
at least halfway across the bed sitting down.
Right. And set up in such a way on the days that you don't feel like doing anything out there, that you don't have to, or you can go out and you can pick a couple of vegetables
Right.
and that be it for the day. And then just save the actual weeding and planting for the days that you're feeling
Feeling up
extra
to it.
best. So, um, that's taking some thought and design work, but it's definitely a doable thing.
Yes,
So, the other thing that I want to do for you is to eliminate as much mowing as possible.
definitely.
So,
Mowing is very difficult for me.
yeah, all that vibration and all that, it's just heavy, heavy work, even if you're for people that are in good, even with people with high energy, that's still a lot of work.
Yes.
So that is one of the first things that I recommend anybody do that's looking at any limitation whatsoever is to eliminate as much mowing as possible. So that's why we're putting down the cardboard and we're gonna put some layment on top of that
Yes.
going forward. So, but alrighty, so we're ready for the next step?
Yes, we're ready for the next step.
All right. This has been a good consult, and we'll get going on it in the next week here. So, what do you think? Do you think you could use some help and input with your designs and your food security in your life? You know, things aren't getting any easier. And with the climate change and the political climate, our distribution system is starting to show its cracks. So your best bet is to grow your own food, even if you've got just a tiny little space. So I invite you to come and join us at Delectable Tiny Gardens, the meeting place for people looking for food and herb resiliency. So hey, subscribe, tell me what you're doing to develop your resiliency in your life, and hey, check us out. 7-day free trial.